Oh, man. I've had it with fucking being a disabled person. Fuck. Like, so, today is my final exam, and the accommodations where I spent so fucking long, but so much fucking effort to get everything I needed, all the prerequisite forms and whatnot, from clinicians who ascertained that I have these conditions and diagnosed them, and I got it all in. They said they would do this, that, and the other for me, not even that much, but shit, they seem to have completely forgotten those very basic obligations, and now I am between a rock and a hard place, as I have no idea what the fuck to do. I'm just waiting to hear back from my professor. There's like, one of the main issues was that he was giving me bad marks on my exams because he couldn't read my handwriting. So I was supposed to be set up with a computer. I did an essay which accounts for 30% of my grade, and I got an A on that, which was the first time I got an A on anything. So, it's not the subject matter that's an issue, it's just putting it in a comprehensive format. And yeah, I mean, I now that I'm not going to be afforded the privileges both the professor and the accessibility told me they would, and now are telling me this is the first they've heard of it. Yeah, up shit's creek without a paddle, fuck. But yeah, it just really drives home how much I fucking hate being a disabled person fucking who is completely reliant on the government for like a very meager sum of money every month. Money that lasted me like a whole 2 weeks. I am just broke enough where I can buy one more pack of smokes. And here's the thing, I had quit for the last few days. I had stopped smoking entirely, but you know what? Like this one cigarette, the last cigarette was sitting in this pack the entire time. But at this point, I'm just like, fuck it. Fuck it, man. And like, here's the thing, for someone who has disabilities and who was a former addict and, has all odds stacked against them, I managed to do pretty well. Even with my shitty exam marks, with just the A on that essay, I am most likely going to pass at the bare minimum. I've studied like crazy to fucking get myself in the zone for the final exam today, but yeah, I don't know if it's just gonna get marked down again because you can't read my answers, so fuck, I don't know what to do. And like when it comes to treatment for these conditions, like, I was using psychedelics a lot to treat the major depressive disorder, which, and would only, give me like a couple days of reprieve from depression at best. It's never full on, like cure-all. As I've said before, there are no cures, in my opinion. I think, those are just the whole notion of a cure is something that snake oil salesman came up with a long time ago. And I treat my chronic pain with tons of fucking THC, CBD, and ketamine, and all that happens is I tell my doctor this, and he goes, well, you're just being the same old addict who was fucking shooting up heroin, shit like that. Like, just completely fucking cornering and belittling me, reproaching me in the most demeaning fucking way, so he could avoid having to talk about, an issue that is, it's just valid in the medical circle in general. I mean, like, who doesn't know what fucking concurrent disorder is if you're a doctor? And he's an addiction specialist, and again, like, he is supposed to be one of the pretty eminent, like, most prestigious, well-regarded addiction specialists, and he pretended to not even know what it was, and I learned about it from him. Like, and, you know, concurrent disorders, to reiterate for those of you who haven't seen me talking about it in past videos, it's when you are an addict and you have issues like pain, mental health issues that are not being properly treated. So you go to what you know works. And, you know, that's what I was doing when I was doing heroin. That's what I'm doing now when I do ketamine. And it's like, I'm not even that much of a fan of ketamine anymore. It'll give me about 20% of relief from my pain for like an hour max. So it's like really just a matter of me self-medicating because I am legitimately suffering from a lot of pain with the weather changes and with the benzotaper and all that. And you know, I've started the microdosing stack, as I've stated, and I think that's been super helpful. But yeah, I mean, I'm just too anxious, and my central nervous system is too sensitized. Ooh, slippery, for me to, with confidence, do a macro dose of a psychedelic because I have no idea how I'm going to react to it. Last time I did DMT, it was pretty unpleasant. I mean, I got fucking like the sensation of a drill being put into my brain or through my skull, like full-on trepanation style. It wasn't that pleasant. And, so yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the future of this channel is going to be. I don't even think I can post psychedelic content anymore anyways, and all my content is based around harm reduction. It's stuff that through experience and through working with clinicians, I have essentially reached conclusions on. And, you know, I would not put out information if I deemed it to be unsafe, because it's for the purpose of harm reduction, and they are pulling my videos because they violate harm reduction. And they're such hypocrites. I mean, they're so concerned about this Bill C-11 because it might hurt their ad revenue, and so they're like, we want to keep your freedom of speech intact. Meanwhile, they are fucking literally pulling my videos and saying, if I put up one more like ketamine nasal spray tutorial, then my channel is going to be completely fucking pulled. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds. I mean, since I'm at the end of my semester here, thank fuck for that. So glad that it's going to be over and done with, because it's been like a completely disheartening fucking waste of time and money. For what? Something that I'm not going to get a job because I did an introductory psychology, introductory philosophy class. Like, that's not going to count for shit. And I've been trying to get jobs, like actual jobs, which is difficult because I have to, like, you know, and I got my security guard license, I got barista training. Unfortunately, because of my disability status, which means that if I get paid more than $800 a month, they just take it out of my disability check. They have actively de-incentivized me from getting legitimate jobs over the years. So now I have all this experience, particularly in labor. Like I did asbestos removal. I built a massive machine shed in Alberta. You know, I worked on numerous construction sites where did demolition on the Trump Tower. But I can't credit any of that because it's all under the table. Because that's the only way I could get around them docking it from my disability check. So, you know, I don't have a lot of references. My resume is, you know, it looks good because I had someone who was like an expert in employment, you know, trim it up for me, and I put it out there. They have it at the bagel shop by my place. They have it at the mushroom dispensary for the third fucking time. Because I mean, I don't want to just fucking sit around fucking wilting and trying to make my disability check last for a month, because it's not, especially not with the price of ketamine being like $100 a fucking gram. And again, not that I want to do ketamine, but I feel like I kind of have to. I mean, but I can't afford it anymore, and you know, despite using it, I'm very functional. I mean, I've like in the last week alone, I've gained 5 pounds of muscle, which is like I weigh more now than I ever had, and and that's all weight from muscle, because my body just can't hold on to fat, which makes it that much harder to build muscle. So I have to work out like 2 hours a day. I did a lot to try to occupy myself, and I mean, I just feel like I'm not getting much in return. Yeah, I just feel like a fucking ward of the state, a complete lout. You know, fucking 27 years old, living with my parents. You know, I hate that. I fucking, my parents are great. They're supportive. I'm privileged enough to have that. But at the same time, it's just like, fuck, I'm an adult. I wanna move on. I wanna get my own place. But you know, I already live in one of the most unaffordable cities in the world. So I can't even afford a bachelor suite. Like, that's ridiculous. And you know, I keep emphasizing over and over again that I don't want to make myself out to be a victim, but at the same time, like, you know, I feel like I have essentially been crippled by doctors and had my youth fucking stolen from being forcefully institutionalized against my will, while they used me as a guinea pig for all these horrible drugs that have adversely affected my system so much that, I mean, a large part of my disability started after that portion of time. So, I mean, yeah, there's always room for doubt that it may not have arisen from them, you know, constantly cycling me from antipsychotics to antidepressants and all the stuff that, like, clearly wasn't working, because I was having all the side effects that show my neurochemistry was not reacting to it well, or was not, essentially, I didn't have the neurochemical deficits that warranted being on such things. You know, I certainly got the neurochemical deficiency that causes treatment-resistant major depressive disorder, but SSRIs give me seizures, so I can't take them. But that didn't stop them from putting me through a year of fucking seizing. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that did a lot of damage to my system. And yes, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm using, you know, heroin, like, at the time didn't help. But I would wager that all this different shit they put me on, you know, being addicted to methadone way before I was addicted to heroin or anything like that, while my brain was in its, like, most formative developmental state, I think, you know, it's not unreasonable to say that did more damage than anything I did to myself. again, not that I'm trying to at all divert personal accountability and consequences. You know, if I was to constantly do that, then I would just be constantly lying to myself and lying to you guys. And yeah, I mean, I've bitched and moaned for long enough, but I'll finish off with a future of my channel, if there is one. I mean, it could get pulled at any moment now. So I don't even know what I can post anymore. I'm just gonna be another fucking vlogger, just a talking head telling you stories and doing nothing more. You know, and I, as you know, will be the first to tell you, that, you know, that you're not guaranteed to have a path to fucking enlightenment from psychedelics. You're not guaranteed to have great results from them. And not everyone should do them. You know, you may have adverse results, like irreparably adverse results, like HPPD if you're just a normal person who does way too much of them. You may have emergent bipolar or schizophrenia if you have a predisposition to that. It'll wake it up. But I'm not going to fucking do the same thing that, you know, Psych Substance and other channels do, where they, you know, don a lab coat, you know, despite not being scientists or doctors, and go, this is not meant to glorify blah blah blah, this is educational, blah blah blah. Like, I'm not going to do that just because it tricks the algorithm into, and the YouTube fucking censor police into letting your videos be permitted and monitored. Like, I've already sent my videos to age restricted, so if you're an adult, you should be well within your responsibility and your rights to watch the content. And I assume that if you're coming to my channel, you are already familiar with this stuff and you're seeking more information. So it's like, again, it's for the purpose of harm reduction. But ironically enough, my crime was violating harm reduction, so it's complete farce. Yeah, so if my channel's gone, you know why. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Fucking bye.